good to see you guys. I feel like this morning I need a little baby to hold up. She looked at me like, don't take me from Grandpa. Oh, this is great. If you haven't noticed walking around, we have Pride Rock in full force over here. VBS is coming up. It's going to be a great time. We would love to see you, even if you're an adult, to come out and hang out and to see some little kids run around and have a great time. But if you stay long enough, we'll put you to work. So that's another reason why you should all come out and have a blast with us. There is something beautiful about God telling everybody they need a Sabbath in their life. If you feel like you've been just overworked and overstressed and life is beating you up, God rested too. Take a day off and regain that focus and that joy of what life is. And so we've been blessed that we got to go away. And you would think my parents would want to avoid my children, but look at, they're here. And they watched my kids for a week while we left them, and the house was standing, everything was okay. So they were good. But it's good to be back, it's good to be here. It's good to bring a message. And I hope that my replacements were awesome for you guys, and I hope that you were awesome to them. Good guys that came and brought you messages while I was gone. And so thank you for treating them like family, and I heard good things, so thank you for that. Maybe you want me to take more time off so they can speak more. Don't tempt me. Today we're going to continue with something that I started and then left you for 2 weeks for you to go. I don't even know what we talked about last time, but we started a series called Empty Space, and today's theme is, how do we fill the empty space of hopelessness? And first, we have to understand that we are a people of hope. And what is beautiful about hope is no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how tragic, no matter all the heartache, no matter your circumstances, your situation, what hope does is it constantly pulls us out of it. It gives us something greater to look forward to. It's also one of the bases of what Hebrews talks about in faith, right? Faith is what? Believing in something that we hope for, that we cannot see, right? We have faith in something that we hope for. What is it that we hope for? It's this longing to be connected, this longing to be with the Father that we get through His Holy Spirit. That reminds us of that. And so I wanted us to just look at a verse. And this is where we're going to start. Because first, in order to fill the space in others, we have to understand that it's already been and should be continually filled within us too. So, in the book of Romans, chapter 5, 3 and 5, read the whole chapter. We're going to pull this just for right now. It says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings. Because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character what? Hope. We usually stop here. But the next part is important for us to know, because this is what hope does. Hope doesn't put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. We have a hope, and this hope should be a reminder all the time, because we have the Holy Spirit dwelling within us. The moment that we accepted Christ, the moment we come out of baptism, the moment that our lives are given to Him, we are filled with this beautiful gift of the Holy Spirit. And that Holy Spirit gives us a constant reminder of hope, that this world is just a blip of eternity. That when we get so caught up in all the things that we have to do for today, we forget the importance of what it's going to look like for eternity. That Christ came, that He gave His life for us, that we may have this beautiful relationship that is eternal, to be again what we were created to be, perfect and blameless and connected to the Father. So, how do you feel that way? Beautiful and blameless and perfect and connected to the Father. How about at least connected to the Father? So reminded of how imperfect you are, maybe? I work with a lot of people, and I get to encounter a lot of people in the jobs that I have. And one of the things that I see in a lot of people who don't know who God is a feeling of emptiness. Sometimes it's isolation. Sometimes there's nothing out there for me. I'm just alone. And this feeling of being alone or being a failure, it consumes. And we get so focused on it. Other times it's a bitterness, right? Everybody's against me. Because we haven't learned how to offset that the world doesn't revolve around us yet. So that everything that happens, good, bad, or whatever, is solely affecting me. When it's good, I did this. When it's bad, everybody hates me. Admit those people? There's a lot that goes on where our hope is geared solely to what we can do alone. I want to share something. There's going to be three things we're going to talk about. The first one is how we fill this gap of hopelessness is we need to help people, starting with ourselves, learn how to rely on God's presence. I watched this movie a couple nights ago, and it was really great. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's called The Dawn Wall. Anybody heard of the Dawn Wall? Not the Don Juan, the Dawn Wall. It's about two rock climbers. Anybody hear the story? They climbed the Dawn Wall of El Capitan. It's never been done before. It's been an impossible feat. Rock climbers have climbed every surface and face of El Capitan as a free climb, not using ropes to help them get up. But they've never done the Dawn Wall because it looks like just a flat piece of granite. And so there's this guy who is a 16-year-old savant climber, and he learned to be this world champion. He went on this trip, got taken captive in Kazakhstan, was kidnapped by them and held hostage, had to throw their kidnapper over a ledge and to save his friends that were out on this trip. And he comes back and it kind of broke him. And his dad, throughout his whole life, because he wasn't a kid that grew up with everything, he was slow to develop. He didn't walk until late. He just wasn't a good learner. He had a lot of struggles, but his dad taught him, if anything, you're going to learn how to be resilient. So he would take him on all these crazy hiking trips when he was little. Did a lot of things that none of us would want to do to our kids, like dangle him across a rope of a gap of over 100 feet down to swing him from one rock to the other. It's just crazy stuff. But what he did is he learned how to be this amazing rock climber. And he went through this really bad divorce of a woman that he went on this trip with. Spoiler alert, by the way. Sorry. Spoiler alert. Long story short, this is all pre-climbing the wall. But he fell in love. This girl that went on the trip with him, they were both climbing savants at a young age. And they fell in love, but the love was more based around this tragedy. So after they got married, they learned that now that they're together, it just didn't work out. He was super broken about it. And how he healed in his life was to climb. So he decided he was going to conquer this side of the wall. For 6 years, he planned out the route. He would go up and down in the winter. So it's snowing and it's cold. But you climb better in the cold. I didn't know this. You're getting filled with all this great information. All of this point is to say this. His partner always in climbing was the lady that he just got divorced with. He never climbed with anybody else as a partner. So there's only one guy that was kind of crazy enough to get in this adventure, and he was not a free climber like he was a boulderer, which they only go to about 30 feet. They just climb rocks with no ropes at all. But he was interested, and so he was learning the 6 years with this guy how to do this incredible, impossible thing that nobody thought even this guy who was amazing would do. And yet, here he is, learning to do this. They get to this one point of the wall. And all of that to this one point. So now you want to watch it. Cliffhanger is what this is. They're sitting up on this wall and they have to traverse this large set. So basically there's all these points that they climb up. If you can't get to that point, you have to start all the way back over for this to happen. So every time they fall, they start all the way back over. You do it again. They fall, they start all the way back over. They don't fall to their death. There is a rope. The rope just doesn't help them climb up. It just keeps them from dying. And it's terrifying to watch. You should check it out. So this guy goes, and it's over and over and over again. They keep falling. They're there for days in this one spot. And finally, the guy who's really good gets it. But now the other guy has to get there too before they can move on. Just goes and fails and goes and fails and goes and fails to the point where he says, I'm holding you back. Let's just forget about me doing this. You just go. And this guy makes it all the way up to the point where it's so difficult that when he passed all of that, he sat there and he says, I thought this would be so great, but I'm here by myself. And I know my partner probably feels equally as alone. Even though he's here supporting me and we're in this together, I'm here and he's still stuck there. He says, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to sit with you and we're going to do this until you come up here with me. By this point, every eye is on this guy. The world has come onto this thing. The pressure is there. But he found a calm because somebody who went before him, who has done all these things, is willing to sit there, to take a side step and say, I'm supporting you. I'm with you. My presence is here. Don't worry about all the other voices. Don't worry about all the other eyes on you. Don't worry about messing up. We're just going to keep going, and you're going to get this. And I wonder how often for us, we're sitting on a ledge that is impossible for us to make. And we think we're by ourselves, but we have somebody who's already gone before us, who's already been there and done it and has laid the way, but he doesn't just say, I did it, look at how I did it, but he comes back and he walks along with us and says, I will stay here. I'm with you. I'm on your side. You don't have anything to fear. Let's just keep moving forward. And you know what? Sometimes we're going to fall. And we're going to dangle on a rope and we're going to say, I just got to quit because I'm not good at this. I'm not good enough to make it. No one in the climbing world thought that that guy especially was going to get through this point. And it blew their mind after, I don't even know, I think it was 3 or 4 more days of living on the side of a rock, 100 feet up, that he finally made it. And the rejoicing that these two had together because they did it and somebody was with them, where they felt so alone most of their life, changes the story. Where hope is based on a dream that you think is going to happen because you believe it can, but you start to realize that you feel on your own the whole journey. When you realize that there's someone in your corner, someone with you, someone that is strong to help and guide you, you're no longer alone. The space is filled. David knew this too, and we have a famous psalm about this, right? It says, even though I walk through the valley, the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. That your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And I start to think about David in this. It says, I will surely be with you, even until the very end. But we have Christ who chose not only to be with us, but he left heaven to be here in our midst, walking with us, taking on the things that we face every day and taking all of them and nailing them to a cross. But he doesn't just leave it there, but he raises. He makes his presence known, and he leaves that we can be filled with the Spirit that connects us. You are not alone. And when the presence of God is with you, you have something that you can lean on and it won't fall apart. Even when everything else in your life is shaky. God is strong, a foundation that cannot be moved.
Amen.
Now the next thing is, we got to rely on God's provisions. This may sound like something that you think, yeah, easy, that makes sense. God's going to provide and it's going to be good. But how often do we think we have to rely on our own selves first? We do. Our hope gets shook a little bit because we do what the guy did on that rock. And we go, I'm trying so hard. And every time I try hard and I fail, I'm going to show them that I can do this. I'm going to try even harder. And I'm going to try so hard that I'm going to get it. And it's all going to be because I did this. It was because of me. When it was all on him, he couldn't get it done. When somebody came back down to sit with him and to help him take a step and to find a calm, and he was able to just relax his mind, he started to see all the places. And I'm not going to lie to you.